to get us to actually understand, even how to sell those properties and what's unique about them, what's so special about them, why should anybody pay for them, and in general, just to fully have a good understanding of whatever you are representing, either, in whatever ways you're associated with GTEx homes or GTEx land as it may be. So this morning we have two special people who would be, taking us through this journey of understanding these properties. And I have with me Miss Suliyat, and then we also have Mr. Farouk joining us this morning. And they will be, I can assure you, they will be actually giving us in full details everything we need to know to be able to fully convince anybody the worth of the land, and also to be able to fully, communicate the values, in this land to, even if it's clients or, a prospect or whoever we are currently being in talks with. So it's going to be a very interesting session. You can ask your questions, and then you can get to actually, even clarify so many things you might have in doubt before now. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm going to be bringing up Ms. Suliyat for our first session and our first presentation, and afterward we take question and answer. So, put your hands together wherever you are for Ms. Suliyat. You're welcome, please. The floor is yours.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Suliyat, and I'm one of the in-house counsel for GTEx homes. I don't know if Abiola Daniel will be joining as well. Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, he'll be joining us any moment.
Abiola Daniel is meant to be here, yes, because he's meant to talk about the product knowledge of the properties we have. He's supposed to explain that, then I can now go into details on the title documents. Okay, but since Abiola Daniel is not here, I think we can just proceed on the title document. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so just allow me to share my screen with you. Yeah, so can you see it? Okay, so when we talk about title documents, can you hear me? Openi? Okay, so when we talk about title documents are documents that helps you to transfer documents that helps you to transfer title on a real estate property or a real property from one person to another. So when you when you're about to purchase a property, so to say, and you are done with the transaction, what you're expected to get from the person selling to you is the title document. You will be given a document. It could be the deed of assignment. It could be deed of conveyance. It could be deed of gift in a situation where the land or the property is given to you as a gift. So this document shows that the person actually has the intention and has actually transferred the title, the interest he has in the property to you. So we have a lot of, we have various title documents. In fact, they are inexhaustive. We can't exhaust them presently. So I'm just going to be talking briefly on some, especially the ones covering the properties we have. And as we all know that before the advent of the Land Use Act in 1978, some people that used to sell properties, so like the family members that used to sell property and the omonile, that's the land grabbers that usually sell property then, they had the habit of selling one property to different people. They can sell a particular property to 5 different people, where it becomes an issue. And so that was what brought up this Land Use Act, where all properties are vested in the government of a state, of each state. Properties are vested in governors of each state. So when you're about to buy a property and you're given a title document, you are expected to register it. That's when you get the certificate of occupancy. However, a lot of people, even those that do not have properties, know about C of O, certificate of occupancy, because that's the only title document majority of the people know about. So briefly, I'm just going to talk about what land title document is. A land document is a document which evidences the transfer of ownership in a real property. You know, we all know that real properties are tangible properties that you can actually see. That's land, buildings, and so to say, they are immovable. Or evidences the legal interest of an individual transferring title from you to another person. So you give the person the title document. So first of all, we have, in a land transaction, we have a survey plan. The survey plan, hold on a minute. Okay. So we all know that the survey plan is a document that shows the exact location of the property that is being transferred to you. Do you understand? So let's say, for example, when you want to buy a property or you want to acquire a property from somebody and you approach the person, the first thing you are supposed to ask the person for you to even make your search is to ask for the survey plan. Once they tell you the location of the property you are acquiring, you ask them for the survey plan. This survey plan shows the exact location. That way you can also get the coordinates of the land and you can make your search. But most times it's actually advisable to get a lawyer or someone that can help you with the search, so you'll be sure that the property you're about to acquire has a good title. So in most cases, the survey plan will be the one to show you whether the property is under acquisition or the property is a free property, or whichever title and the owner of the property will show on the survey plan. In a situation where this survey shows you that the property is under acquisition, then it is left to you to decide or to determine whether the property is under acquisition, committed acquisition or a general acquisition. We all know that committed acquisition, once they say a property is under committed acquisition, that means the government already has something in mind they want to do with that particular property. So in that situation, you can't even do anything. You can't proceed on buying the property because the government has an interest on that property, so you can't proceed with it. However, when it is stated that it is a general acquisition, then you can actually ask the government to excise that portion of property to you. They can excise the portion of property to you, then you can buy. However, it is usually advisable that you ensure that the property is excised. Once the property is excised, then you can proceed with purchase of the property. If you actually want to, when you get a survey plan and you want to be sure, you want to make your search about the survey plan, you can always go to the Surveyor General's office in Alausa. If it's outside Lagos State, go to the Surveyor General's office of any of those states, or you meet a registered surveyor, they can actually help you with the search. So the next title we have is the Gazette. So most times people don't actually understand what a Gazette is, and they don't know the difference between Gazette and Accession. When you tell them, okay, this property has Accession, then you'll be like, okay, this property has Accession and it has Gazette. So what is the real document on this property? When you're told that a property has a Gazette, it means that this property used to have an accession, or let me say like an acquisition rather, used to have a general acquisition. If a property used to have a general acquisition and then you apply for excision from the government, there is this publication that is usually made by the government that shows that the property you acquired, the property that was excised to you, or the property that was excised to a village or an individual, will be posted on that gazette. Do you understand? So the gazette usually covers details of properties excised. It has the title, the name of the property, the location of the property, the number of acres or hectares that was excised to the group of people or the individual or the family at that particular time. So the gazette is just a publication, or it's just an evidence showing that yes, the government has actually excised this property to this particular person. So most times, if you want to be sure that you have the real gazette, or if the property in question has a gazette on it, you can always request for the certified true copy of that gazette, and then you can make your search at Alausa Cabinet Office. You can go to Cabinet Office, or you go to Secretariat in Ministry of Justice Alausa, then you can always make your search. Then the next one we have, which is the most common of them all, is the certificate of occupancy. Here on my slide, they said this is a very common land document. Even people who have never acquired, like I mentioned earlier, that people who have never acquired properties before have heard about certificate of occupancy. As previously explained, all land owned by the government as such, all real property owned before the advent of the Land Use Act or any subsequent real property acquired from the government is evidenced by a certificate of occupancy. So once you acquire a property now, you are expected to get a certificate of occupancy showing that you are in possession, you have the right and you have the title over that property, but you get the certificate of occupancy from the government. However, you know that certificate of occupancy, in accordance to the Land Use Act, shows that you are only leased, or you're given right over that property for a period of 99 years. After a period of 99 years, the property reverts back to the government, and you can actually apply again for regrant from the government. So if you want to make your research, or if someone claims that the property has a certificate of occupancy, you can always go down to the Land Bureau in Alausa to make your research. You obtain a copy of the certified true copy. The certified true copy usually cover the year, the volume, and the page of the details of the land in total. Also, we have the governor's consent. The governor's consent, this explains why any transfer. Okay, let me explain to you. The governor's consent is usually indicated on a document of transfer, such as a deed of assignment, a deed of lease, a deed of gift. Okay, let me make it easier now. If you buy a property from someone and you are given a document, you're given a deed of assignment, or someone gives a document to you and you're given a deed of gift, there's usually the last part of the deed of assignment that has a section requesting you to get the governor's consent. So this governor's consent, fine, we know that there was a transaction between you and somebody, and the person is willing to transfer ownership to you. You are still expected to go down to the Land Bureau or in Alausa, then you get the governor's consent, showing that yes, the governor is aware that the property has been transferred from Mr. A to Mr. B. You are now the rightful owner of the property. You now have rights, you have ownership, and you have possession of that property. So after you get your governor's consent, then you'll be given a certificate of occupancy as well. But it is very important for you to get your governor's consent. The next one we have is contract of sale. A contract of sale majorly is not a title document. It doesn't transfer title from Mr. A to Mr. B, because a lot of people actually make that mistake. They mix them up, thinking, okay, once I have a contract of sale, and most cases people make this mistake because they don't usually involve their lawyer or someone who has an understanding of how the process should go. So when you're about to go into a transaction with someone, purchase of real property, you are expected to get a contract of sale in a situation where you're not paying outrightly, you're not making your payments at once. Do you get? So this contract of sale usually covers all the details, the conditions, what have you, whatever it is, whatever agreement you've made with the person. The contract of sales is meant to carry that. I'm going to start my payment so period of time. I'm going to pay, let's say you intend to pay every month before you exhaust payment. All these details are usually covered in the contract of sale. It is after you're done with the transaction it is when you're done with the transaction that you can now proceed in preparing your deed of assignment and getting the title document itself, which is the deed of assignment. But the contract of sale is it just signifies that there's a contract between you and this person, and the person is willing to accept the terms and conditions, the agreement between the both of you on, let's say, your payment, the payment structure, the time of payment, the agreed amount, the parties, and all of that. So that's what the contract of sale majorly is for. Also, some people actually make mistake when doing this, because when you register your deed of assignments, 99% of people don't usually register their contracts of sale as well. You are expected to register your contract of sale, but it is not usually a practice. They don't usually practice it in, like most people don't practice it in Nigeria. Do you understand? But you're expected to register your contract of sale. When you register your contract of sale, you as well register your deed of assignment. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Okay. So the next one we have is the power of attorney. A power of attorney is a legal document giving one person the right or the power to act for another person. Most times people, let's say people that are not really in the legal profession, they don't really understand the difference between all these documents I actually mentioned. They don't know the difference. They usually mix them up. When someone tells you I have a power of attorney to act on behalf of a particular person, that doesn't mean the person has transferred ownership to the agent. It's usually between an agent and the owner. Do you get? Or the principal rather. So when someone wants you to act on their behalf, someone wants you to maybe you should do some legal things on their behalf, then they prepare a power of attorney showing that yes, I've given you the right, the power to act on my behalf. So it is not a title document. It doesn't transfer ownership. It doesn't transfer possession from one person to another. Then we have the deed of assignment. The deed of assignment is an agreement between the seller of the property and the buyer, showing that the seller has transferred all his rights, title, interest, and the ownership to the buyer. In a situation where a person has agreed to sell the property and you have paid the person, if you do not get the deed of assignment, then there's no document showing that, yes, the person has actually transferred to you. You need a document to actually show that, yes, this person is willing and has transferred all the rights he has. He doesn't have any right to, you can actually transfer, you can transfer possession to someone and not transfer ownership to that person. In a situation where, let's say, for example, I have a building and I rent a building out to Mr. A. I'm only transferring ownership, possession of that property to Mr. A. I'm not transferring my ownership to Mr. A. Mr. A has the right to be in possession of that property for a certain period of time. He doesn't have the right to own the property. He doesn't have the right to claim any ownership on that property. The ownership still remains with me. But in a situation where a deed of assignment is prepared, it shows that ownership, possession, the rights, title, interest, what have you, is transferred from Mr. A to Mr. B. So you do not have any right over that property again once you've transferred title to the person. However, most times you need to note that you need to register your deed of assignment. It is very, very important. A deed of assignment needs to be registered, because if it is not registered, there's no way it can be verified. There's no way it can be verified that, yes, the person has actually transferred ownership to you or transferred title to you. Here we have a deed of mortgage. I'm just going to talk briefly on this. A deed of mortgage is a document that shows that you have used a property, you have used your property to secure a loan with a financial organization. So in a simple language, you are willing to get a loan from a financial organization, and the only thing you have to secure that loan, to get that loan from that financial institution, is your property. So you're using your property to stand to secure that loan. So you're usually, a deed of a mortgage is usually prepared, showing that you have transferred ownership pending the time you pay up the loan. You've transferred ownership, and the financial institution has the right over that property. They have the right to retain a lien on that property for that period of time. So we have a deed of release. A deed of release is a document. A deed of release is a legal document that removes a previous claim on an asset or a real property. It is the evidence issued and registered upon the repayment of a mortgage. So after you get a loan and you've used your property to secure that loan, once you are done with the payment of that loan, it doesn't just end that way, because there's no way, there's nothing to prove that you've actually paid in full, even if you have a receipt and everything. Since you've read of a deed of assignment, you are expected to also get a deed of release from the financial institution, showing that you're done with the payment of the loan you got, and they've released the ownership back to you, ownership of the property you used in securing the loan. They've released it back to you. So a deed of lease is, I mentioned earlier that when I rent out a property to someone, it doesn't mean I've given the person ownership to that property. It only means that I've given the person possession, the right to be in possession of that property. So a deed of lease is usually prepared, or is usually given in a situation where I'm renting out a property, or I'm leasing a property to a lessee or a tenant for a period that is exceeding 3 years. Most times when we rent an apartment, we know that we're usually given a tenancy agreement. You get. So you're usually given a tenancy agreement in a situation where you're renting that property, or you want to be in possession of that property for a period of 1 or 2 years. But as far as you're renting that property, or you're leasing the property for a period exceeding 3 years, you are expected to get a deed of lease. You're expected to give a deed of lease to the person that I'll be leasing this property for so period of time. However, the possession and right goes back to the owner after the period stated in the deed of lease elapsed. The title, the ownership goes back to the person. So that's what most of these developers do. They lease the property for a period of time, probably develop the property, then they be in possession of the property, let's say for 30 years. After 30 years, the property goes back to the owner of the property. We have a grant of letter of administration. This is just gotten, it's just a document given to an administrator to help distribute estates of a deceased person, a person who died intestate. In law, a person who dies intestate is someone who did not prepare a will before dying. You died without a will. So you're expected to get a grant of letter of administration where the administrator or the administratrix then administers the property of that deceased person to people. We have the grant of probate. The grant of probate is given to a person where the person has the right to the beneficiary of a will. In a situation where a person dies testate, prepares the will before dying, and he mentioned his beneficiary. So it's just a grant of probate you need to get in order to have ownership and title over the properties of the deceased person. So in a situation where a person dies, and let's say, for example, the person that died wrote in the will that I will my 3-bedroom duplex in Ikoyi to Mr. A at the age of 80 years. Once the person clocks the age of 18 years, the person can get a grant of probate from the probate registry, and the person has title and possession over that property because it has been granted to the person. Okay, we have a deed of gift. A deed of gift is a document evidencing the voluntary transfer of property from one person. The person is usually called the donor to another who is called the donee without a consideration. Without consideration means that you are not paying, you did not pay to get ownership of that property. So in a situation where, for example, your mother or your father has a property and they want to gift it to you, most times parents do this by giving out or gifting their property to a particular person before they die. So if you're claiming that a person has given you this property before he died, you need to present a deed of gift. A deed of gift must have been prepared at the point of giving you that property. Fine, you did not pay for it, you didn't give any, you didn't fulfill any consideration, you were just giving voluntarily. However, a deed of gift needs to be prepared by the donor, by the person giving it to you who is called the donee, to show that yes, I've transferred all the rights and interest I have on this property to Mr. B. Lastly, we have the deed of Ascent. A grant of probate is not usually a title vesting legal authority, but a deed of Ascent transfers the estate of a deceased person to the beneficiary that have been named in a will through the executor of the surgery. I mentioned earlier that when you're giving grant of probate, a deed of Ascent needs to be prepared that I've given the property, the right on this property to another person. I've transferred the rights on this property to the beneficiary that was mentioned in the will. However, we can't exhaust most of this title documents like I mentioned earlier. We also have something which is called the right of occupancy. The right of occupancy in plain language is just the right to occupy, the right of occupancy over a portion of land or an expanse of land, but it is usually granted by local government or local government authority. So in conclusion, it is actually advised that whenever you want to get your title document, whenever you want to be involved in a land transaction, you are expected to get the title documents. However, it is very advisable to involve your lawyer or someone who understands land transaction that can help you with it, help you make your search and be sure that you are getting the right title, you're getting the right title, you're getting a genuine title. So it's good to do your due diligence because the person selling to you is not expected, will not be held liable for it. You are expected to do your due diligence before you get involved in any land transaction. Hello, Akpayemi.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so I don't know if we have Abiola here, so he can talk about the product knowledge.
I'm going to take the product knowledge part.
Okay, all right, but before you take the product knowledge part, I don't know if we have any question or any if we have any question, just let me know.
If anybody has a question, you can send me drop a question.
Please, if you have a question, you can just drop it so we can reply before leaving.
Please type it in the question and answer section. I can see a hand.
You can just drop the question in the question and answer section, or you drop it in the chat, so to make it easy. Okay, in the absence of none, I think one just came in. Please, can we have the PPT? What's PPT? Opemi? Okay, the PowerPoint. Oh yes, of course, you can get a copy of this. I can, a copy can be sent to you. I can share it with Opemi. He will share with you. Okay, someone just asked the question. He said, as a realtor, is it a professional ethic to show the documents that are being stated to someone who wants to buy or sell? In a situation where you want to, let me say, for example, you want to sell a property to someone, it will get to a point where the person needs to make his own search, to do his own due diligence. Of course, you have to know that the person is committed, because most times you don't want to risk it. You don't want to risk giving your documents to someone and the person probably start using it as a fake document to sell to other people. Do you understand? But in a situation where you want to sell to someone, it will definitely get to a point where you still need to release that document to the person, so the person can make his own search. You need to provide everything possible. You need to provide everything the person needs to be satisfied that yes, he is about to buy, is about to get a good deal on this property he's buying. And he's getting a good title. He's not just shooting himself in the leg. Do you understand? So it's actually advisable. However, you are expected to be careful as well. So once the person has done, there are some certain things you can release, like the survey plan. You can release the survey plan to the person, let the person make his own search, be sure that yes, the property has a good title. Then at the point of your meeting, your contract of sale, you reach an agreement, then the person, because of course, when the person goes to the land registry, you can always get the title documents anywhere. Once you go to the land registry or you go to the land bureau, you can always get the title on the property. So if you're claiming that your property has a certificate of occupancy, for example, and you give the person a survey plan, once the person gets to the Surveyor General's office or involves the service of a registered surveyor and they make their own search, they will definitely know whether the property is a free property or if the property is under acquisition. There's no way a property will be under acquisition and you would have a certificate of occupancy. Do you understand? So it is just left for you to act smart, but at the same time, it is left to you. The onus is on you to provide all information the person buying from you needs to purchase the property, or to be sure that yes, I've done my due diligence on this property before buying it. Okay, so okay, I think we have just 2 questions and I've answered them. So
okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm sure personally I've even learned it. I didn't even know about this before. Just got to know about it now. Honestly, thank you so much. Yeah, and I'm sure since everything can see it, it's something they just.
That's why it's usually advisable to. What did you say? I didn't get that. What did you say?
I said I'm even glad we have interns here, so they are learning it in due time.
Okay. Yeah, so that's why it's usually advisable to involve the service of a legal professional or someone who understands it well, because no one is an island. It's just like you having typhoid and you want to treat yourself and you start using paracetamol or you start using drug meant for, let's say, toilet infection. Do you understand? So in most cases, people make the mistake of buying the property. In fact, someone reached out to me of recent saying that I bought this property. I want you to prepare the agreement for me. I said, preparing agreement is not even the issue yet. Did you employ someone or did you involve the service of a lawyer to be sure that this property you paid for has a good title? Because most times people are very, they are more concerned about buying the property than having a good title. So once you tell them you need to involve a lawyer, no, I don't want to involve the lawyer. I have to start paying for legal fee. I have to start paying for consultation. I have to pay for the deed of assignment, which is very high. So I can always get someone to prepare it for me. I can do it myself. And in most cases, at the end of the day, you will notice that you've not even done your due diligence, because most times they are inexhaustive. There are things you are expected to do when you're about to get the property. It's not just to pay and to go and see the land. Okay, this land is big, is in a good location, or it has a good landmark, then you proceed with it. So I'm glad you learned something, and if you still have any question, just let me know. We can answer that before the end of the session. I'll still be here to wrap up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much. So right now, we're going into the property knowledge profile, and I think I'll share my screen now so that I can know it. Can we also my screen? If you can see my screen, just type that you can see. Just type it in the chat section that you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, thank you. So I'm going to be taking us through all the properties that we have now, and then I'll tell you their location. And this particular document is actually available for, I'm going to be sharing it after the session so that anyone who needs access to it can actually go through it and learn from it. So I'm going to start with Beryl Beachfront. This is Beryl Beachfront, Elepo in Ibejuleki, Lagos. And like you see, 2 minutes from Elepo Beach. If you were part of the, we did a particular inspection just of recent, where we had a picnic at the beach. So it's just like the beach is just opposite the estate like this. So you just walk down. It's about, in fact, it's less than 2 minutes walk down to the beach. And then it's 10 minutes drive to Downfield Refinery, behind Amen Estate Phase 2. It's a wetland, and we are currently sandfilling it. Now, one thing you can use to sell very beachfront is that it's already, it's not like it's in the bush. It's already in a location where even if you're ready to build and live there now, you have neighbors, like there are houses all around the place. So you have neighbors, it's like ready to build and all those things. And then the property is still appreciating. In fact, it's still very much appreciated, because one very good thing is that, even we that we are developing this, we've not even started, bringing up the infrastructures that we want, that is going to be on the land. Even the showroom that is in the front of the building, in front of the estate, is still going to be demolished after some time. So whatever you see there now, you see like a temporary structure. The real structure is still in process. And by the time the real green and smart infrastructures are put in place, then you know that automatically the value of the estate gets shot up also. What makes Banana Island expensive? It's because of the infrastructure. We talked about the security, we talked about the kind of amenities that is around, this is actually what makes, the kind of people that live in that area also determines the price. So in this type of estate also, the kind of infrastructure that determines the kind of people who live in the area now is what will give you an insight that this property is still appreciating, it's still very much appreciating. So Beryl Beachfront, Elepo in Ibejuleki. So the person is asking for now this coordinate is like for you to get there with Google Map. The document on it is excision. I'm sure we know what the document means now. Now let's go to Sapphire Water City in Ikorodu. Sapphire Water City is in Ikorodu and is along Agric Ikorodu. It is an estate inside Butterfly Estate. It's an estate inside Butterfly Estate. Butterfly Estate is already a growing, how would I put it, a growing estate on its own. So, the Primrose Estate is an estate estate. It is well secured. It's 15 minutes drive from Mile 12 Market. It's 35 minutes drive from the airport, and then it's in Owutu Isawo Road, and that's on Agri. So the document on it also. The document on it also, I believe it's excision. Like you see, there's no government encumbrances, and it has Supreme Court. Okay, it has Supreme Court judgment. That's Supreme Court judgment. If I just saying it, that's Supreme Court judgment. So that means, I think I'll still bring up Ms. Leah to actually talk more about Supreme Court judgment. So I would like her to say it from our own perspective. So if I let her come up now, Ms. Leah, please can you come up now to explain to us what Supreme Court judgment is, so that I don't want to give my own in quotes now shallow knowledge about it. I think I should right now. So we have White House at home. For some weird reason, this is my favorite property, and it's 5 minutes from Canaan land. It's a dry land. That means
can you hear me? Sorry, you said something, but I didn't hear you. You're muted.
I said I wanted you to explain to us what Supreme Court judgment means on the property. You're muted, ma'am.
Did you say Supreme Court judgment?
Yes. If you check this, Sapphire.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
Okay. So, in most cases, when a property is under, when let's say two different people are fighting over a property, do you understand? Or let's say, for example, the property used to be under acquisition, and you've gotten a decision from the government. There's usually Supreme Court judgment or court judgment generally. It's just that Supreme Court judgment, as we all know, that Supreme Court is the apex court. So it's the highest of all courts in Nigeria, yes. So when you're giving a court judgment, I don't want to hammer on that Supreme Court now. When you're giving a court judgment, it shows that the court finds you worthy, that you are the owner of the property. The court has given its verdict over the disputes you guys had. If two people are fighting over a property and you are able to prove to the court that you own the property or the title is vested in you, then obviously the court is going to give a judgment over it. So for Sapphire Estate, Supreme Court we have Supreme Court judgment over it, showing that the people, the assignor that sold to us, have right over that property. So even the government cannot contest this because it has been given by the court. That's why I mentioned earlier that most times it is usually good for you to involve the service of a lawyer, because you are, as a lawyer, when a person wants to buy a property and he informs you, you are expected to not just do your search at the land registry. It's not just the land registry you go down to make your search. You're expected to go to different places, expected to be sure that the property is not under dispute. And if the property is under dispute, you are expected to go down to the court, request for the court judgment, go through the court judgment, peruse it, and be very sure that yes, the judgment was given in favor of the person that wants to sell to you, who is the assignor now. Do you understand? So that majorly Supreme Court judgment shows that people used to fight over this property, or it was in contest. However, the property has been vested in the person that sold to you by the court. Yeah, okay,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. So let's go to Atlanta. Okay, we're already discussing Atlanta. So like I said, Atlanta is 5 minutes from Canaan land, and it's also 25 minutes from Bells University, and it's in Atlanta. And the even good thing is currently the gatehouse already been done, the fencing already been done, and it's already taking shape. So this is an estate that you can bank on to say, okay, we have Mr. Daniel. We have Mr. Daniel. After Jasper Golf and Beach, I'll just allow Mr. Daniel to take on the product knowledge. So Jasper Golf and Beach is, I call it my idol property, because we already have units building on the property. We have 4 units of 2-bedroom terraces, approaching completion already. It's in the Lekki. It's closer to Dangote Refinery. It's also close to La Campagne Tropica. It's directly opposite Lekki Golf Resort, and it's a dry land. It's a dry land ready to build, and it's amazing. The document is governor's consent. I believe we know what governor's consent is now, since we've been taught. So right now we'll allow Mr. Daniel take on from here. Mr. Daniel, welcome, sir.
Mr. Akwe, thank you so very much. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, so you have mentioned some properties. Let me just write on from there. Hope you can see me also well. All right, beautiful. So you're currently talking about Jasper Estate, right? All right, so one of the most interesting estate we have, right, which is one of the sold out estates that is well sorted out for, is Jasper Beach and Golf Estate, right? And just like Mr. Okwe said, there's a lot of things that is basically attached to this particular estate. Of course, all of our estates is very, 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 very significant. All of our estates are very important, right? But of course, they have significant priority in that order. But let me just quickly share some very important things about Jasper Beach and Golf Estate that you need to know. First is the location, right? I tell people one of the things that actually make a property have an high yield, right, in terms of return on investment is firstly the location, right? In that particular region, in that particular location, we have 3 good estates in that location. Firstly, we have one before the Dangote Refinery, which is located precisely at Eleko, right? We have another before the Dangote, and we have 2 after the Dangote Refinery, right? Just like I said, the Jasper Beach and Golf Estate, right, is an estate that is located just few minutes away from the Dangote Refinery, right? It also has proximity to the Dangote jetty. It's almost opposite it, but just let me give a distance of 2 minutes, right? We also have the Lekki Free Trade Zone in that region. We have the Lagos port, port in that region. We have the Dangote port also there, right? So all of these significant industrial and commercial vessels are the things that actually make a property have an high yield in terms of return on investment, right? Why do you need to invest in a property like Jasper Estates? Firstly, is the characteristics it possesses. Now, what are things you will be seeing in our estate? The first thing that you'll be seeing in that estate is that it is a service estate in the sense that all basic amenities for you to enjoy a luxurious lifestyle will be produced in that particular estate, right? When you're talking about good drainage system, right? You're talking about facilities such as a clinic, facilities such as a playground for your children, right? Facilities such as a mall, right? In the estate, these are things that you will be seeing in this particular estate. And of course, to also mention, it is an estate. Of course, we say it's a green and smart estate, which is a feature that makes us stand out, right? It is not just green, it is also smart, right? Green in the sense that we are applying the importance of renewable energy, not just in the process of building or planting plants, green plants alone, no, but the process of ensuring that you have an healthy environment to live in, ensuring that you are able to enjoy a good lifestyle by reducing the level of carbon monoxide in the environment for you, right? And of course, when you talk about it being a smart estate, right, we are ensuring that everything is automated, right? You are coming into your estate, you get into your estate from the entrance of the gate, right? You are able to access it with the use of your device, right? All of these are mechanized, right? And of course, inside your home, for those who will be investing in smart homes, right, you are able to operate everything in the house with your device. The essence of a house, right, being smart is for convenience, right? It's for enjoyment. It's for you to be able to enjoy luxury, right? So what are the things that you will also benefit, right? That environment is an environment that is just opposite opposite a golf course, right? You will have the opportunity to network with high net worth individuals, right? You have the opportunity to be able to connect with great minds. You have the opportunity to live in an environment where you are free from the fear of insecurity, because every of our estates has surveillance camera, and of course, apart from the surveillance camera, we also have security personnel in that particular estate, right? Another thing I also need to mention, it has a very good title, right? We have Jasper 1, we also have Jasper 2. The good news is Jasper 1 is totally sold out, but we are currently still selling housing units, right? We have 2-bedroom, we have currently 4 units of 2-bedroom that is almost sold out, right? We have the 1-bedroom, we have the 2-bedroom, we have 3-bedroom, 4, and the 5-bedroom in that particular estate, right? But the good news is we have Jasper 2, which is like the phase 2 because of the demand, right? So we are also still currently selling, we're selling lands there, and also for housing unit also. So it has a very, very good title on it for those who Suliat has mentioned a lot about titles, right? She has been able to educate us about the titles, right? I'll be moving straight to Primrose Estate. Primrose Estate also has close proximity to Jasper Estate, still in that same region, right? Primrose we call it Primrose Farm City, right? Primrose Farm City. The reason is because it has, of course, as a company, we are also into agricultural investment, right? And it's one of our largest, right, real estate investment, right? Because we have a large proportion of land in that particular area, and that is the area in which we are using for land banking, we are using for every of our agricultural investment, right? Good location, also close proximity to La Campagne Tropicana. It even has a closer proximity to La Campagne Tropicana. Think just like 4 minutes away from La Campagne Tropicana. It's closer to Jasper, right? Also has close proximity to the Dangote refinery. The same features, the same benefits you are also enjoying in Primrose Estate, right? Okay, I did not mention Jasper. For Jasper 2, right? The good news is that particular estate is sold for 40 million, but the current price is 25 million on a discount, right? For those who are willing to invest, right? Why? For Primrose, remember I've mentioned that all of the characteristics, all of the features that the estate has, right? We are providing for you a mall, we are providing for you a clinic, we are providing for you a playground facility for children and also for adults, right? We're providing a lawn tennis court, right? We are providing absolute standard security in terms of surveillance and also in terms of personnel, right? And of course, it's a 24/7 electricity, estate, meaning that we are not just generating electricity from from the generator, and no, it's a soundless environment, right? Because all of our electricity is being converted from waste, right? That is why it's called a renewable energy, right? Form of production, because we are supporting good lifestyle, we are supporting healthy lifestyle, right? For that particular estate, I've mentioned the proximity, I've mentioned the particular location that it's located precisely at Itamarun. For those who don't know, right, Primrose Estate is located at Itamarun. And the good news about this estate also is that it's one of our most sold out estates. I can tell you that, right? For real, it's one of our most sold out estate. And currently it was going for 7 million naira, right? But now, because of the value increment, right, because of the demand, and because of what is going on in that particular environment, this particular estate is sold for 9.6 million naira, ladies and gentlemen, right? One of the good things about property is that it will always increase in value. It will always increase in price. And the reason being that two factors which can actually influence it. One is the level of work that is being done in the estate, and of course, the level of work that has been done around the estate. So all of these things are just factors, right, that helps to increase the prices of property. Okay, can you hear me? Hello, okay, are you still there? Hello? Is Okwe still there? Okay, so okay, are you there? Please share your slide with me. Share your slide with us. Let me give a quick description of, quickly put it. I saw the product knowledge slide you shared.
Is it not showing again?
I can't see it.
I see it now.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So as I've said, right, I was mentioning Primrose Estate. I said it's located precisely at Itamarun, right? It's just after the Jasper Estate. It's less than 5 minutes away from Jasper Estate, which means that it also has close proximity to the Dangote refinery, right? I've also mentioned that it was actually selling for 7 million naira, ladies and gentlemen. But the good news is that's increased, right? The value has increased, and it's currently selling for 9.6 million naira. Yes, 9.6 million naira. So another one I want to talk about is Burial Estate, right? Burial Estate located precisely at Idado community. One of the reasons why I love this particular estate is the fact that I was the particular guy who anchored the event when we were launching this estate, right? And I've been able to see this estate grow, right, from nothing to actually what it is today, right? I remember then when investment was when investment started on this particular estate, it was literally nothing, right? In the sense that it was all thick forest, right? So this estate has really inspired me to understand that foresight is needed, right, when it comes to real estate, right? This particular estate is located at Idado community, right, opposite the beach, right? It's less than 30 minutes away from the Eleko beach, right? And of course, is located along a major road, which means that people are living in this particular community, right? People are living in this particular community. One thing I love about the estate is the fact that it has all of the things that is required for healthy living. It has all of the things that's required for lifestyle. So I like to say to people that Burial Estate Idado is an estate that has all of the luxurious life you want, right? I like to say that it is called vacation away from vacation, because you really don't need to travel out of the country. You don't need to travel far for you to enjoy vacation. Why? Because you have a beach just in front of you, right? You and your family can prepare food at home and take to the beach, just sit down in front of the having a relaxed time with family, Follow me? So, ladies and gentlemen, it is an estate that you want to invest in. Just like I said, all of our estate has similar features. When we talk about similar features, we're talking about amenities. What are the amenities that is provided in every of our estate? Beryl Beachfront also has its own mall. It's going to be having its own playground for adults and also for children. Going to be having its own clinic, right? We're going to be providing artificial lake also, right? Just like that of Sapphire Estate, right? You're going to be having artificial lake connected to your own plot, right? Beautiful things inside the estate. We're going to be having basketball court inside the estate. And just like I've also mentioned for Jasper and also for Primrose Estate, it is all green and smart, right? Green and smart, right? I remember when we used to sell this particular estate, they moved from 1.5 million naira, moved to 2 million, moved to 3 million, moved to 4 million, moved to 6 million, moved to 7 million, moved to 8 million. Currently, it's being sold for 15 million, but the discount price on it is being sold for 13 million naira. So, ladies and gentlemen, real estate investment is key. Real estate investment is important, right? Having understanding, right, about this thing. And you ask the question, why has the value been increasing? Remember what land banking is, right? It's about buying a property, leaving it for it to aggregate over a period of time. This is almost 3 years now, 19 years, almost 3 years now. The level at which it was before is not the same, right, at which it is now. Why? We're able to clear, right, a larger portion, right? We've done interlocking in that particular estate. We are currently filling it and creating access roads so that people can start constructing their own building. For those who are interested in building, can start up all of these things. So all of these things are the things that has increased, right, the value of the property, right? I'll be moving quickly to Beryl Golf Estate, right? Beryl Golf Estate is located precisely along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, right? The beautiful thing about this estate is that it's located in an area where you have sound-minded people. And what do I mean, right? It's located just almost adjacent, right, a university known as Dominion University. And ladies and gentlemen, right, we understand the importance of institution around a community, right? Once there's an institution around a community, there is development in that community. Why? Because of the level, right? Because of the magnitude of people that are in that particular area, right? So you ask, what is the document it has, right? The beautiful thing about this particular estate is that it has a C of O, right? It has a C of O. That's the beautiful thing about this particular estate. Remember, all of our estate has same features in terms of the things we are putting in the estate, in terms of a mall, in terms of the clinic, in terms of playground, in terms of a lawn court, and all of that, right? Remember, it's also green and smart. I'll quickly go straight to Beryl Estate Abuja, and also Beryl Estate Abuja is 2 minutes from post-service housing estate, 3 minutes from the army housing estate, located precisely at Kuzudu, right? Same features it has there, right? The document on this is Aru of O, right? I quickly want to go to Beryl Estates, Abeokuta. One of the reasons why I've been thinking, ladies and gentlemen, right? For me personally, I'm so much in love with this particular estate, right? Which is Beryl Estate, Beryl Polo Estate, right? Abeokuta. And the reason is because of its location. Trust me, I love every of our estate, right? But this particular estate, I don't know, there's just this special connection I have for it. And the reason is because of its prime location. It's located also along the expressway. And when a particular property is located along the expressway, just like Beryl Golf Estate is located along the expressway, right, it just has that speed, right, in the value increment. Are you following me? Why? Because people can easily locate it. People can easily see it. Are you following me? It's located close to Hilltop Estates, right? It's located close to the President Muhammadu Buhari Estate. Are you following me? Very close, just 4 minutes away from there, right? It's located very close, less than 3 minutes away from the Secretariat, right? Amazing location, ladies and gentlemen, amazing location, very serene, very cool, right? People are living around the location. People are already investing there, right? You don't have anything to lose. You don't have any reason to waste time, right? So it's an amazing estate in which you can tell people about, right? People can go, go and go for inspection, see it for themselves, and understand the reason why they need to invest there. So just like I've said, I'm not going to be boring us with all of the features, right? It also has the same features in terms of green and smart, in terms of we providing you a clinic, mall, and the rest, right? The beautiful thing also is that what it has on it is document title is called a C of O, right? So ladies and gentlemen, we there's quite a few. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Yes. Which one? You've mentioned Sapphire Estate, right? Have you talked about Sapphire Estate?
I've talked about Sapphire.
Okay. So I think you've not mentioned. Sorry?
It's from Berry with Ibadan downward.
I've mentioned Berry Ibadan.
Have you mentioned?
Have you talked about White House?
White House, yes.
Okay. So let me just quickly talk about the estate that we'll be launching soon. Okay, so we are going to be launching almost 4 estates soon. We're launching Sejos. We're launching Sejos Ekpe. We're also launching Sejos Ogudu. We're also launching Sejos White House. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, right, so many people have been asking us, right, do you have properties in this particular region along the Lekki Ekpe Expressway? Do you have properties in Ogudu? Do you have property in Aton? Yes, we have a property at Aton already. We have White House Estate Aton, right? And of course, that's close proximity to the Covenant University. That's close proximity to Bells University, right? These are locations, these are places you want to invest in, right? But because of expansion, because of demand, right, we are also investing again in that particular region, right, known as Sejos Estate Atom, right? Is an estate that you would definitely want to invest in, right? They are all on pre-launch price currently, right? All on pre-launch price, right? We also have the Sejos Ogudu, right? It has Sejos Ogudu has C of O, Sejos Ekpe also has C of O, right? For if you want to know the price for Sejos Ogudu is currently going for an off-plan sale of 40 million, while that of Ekpe is going for 64 million naira, right? And the title is C of O. So Okpe will be sharing this slide for those who will be needing it later so that they can have a proper understanding of it, because they cannot digest everything at a glance or at a go. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions, you can ask why Okpe takes it up.
Sir, you are muted. You are muted.
Okay. Okay, there's a question here. Is there a site where we can have access to this land allocation? Yes, yes. We can share a link with them. Yes, there is. We'll share a link with you where you can have access to all of our products. Yes, there is.
Okay. So in the absence of any other question, do you have any other question? No. So in the absence of any other question, I'm going to share the slides, the 2 slides with you all, and then you can all get access to it. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. It's been an amazing session. Thank you so much, Mr. Riaz. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. It was a pleasure hosting both of you. I learned so much also, especially from the land titles. I was just seeing things that I didn't know prior to now. So thank you so much, guys. And this is a weekly event. So next week also, we'll be taking having another insightful session on, land, allocation and all those things. Any question you might have when it comes to selling land, it will be fully dissected. So don't miss next week's edition, and it will be even much more exciting than this. So everybody have a nice day, and thank you so much for joining.
Okay, before we proceed, we are supposed to run like a role play, right? Just for people to have a feel or understanding of how these things are being done, right? Because people actually feel that there's one rocket science behind it. People feel that it's difficult, and people also think that I don't want to use the word that simple, right? But there's a procedure, there's a process, right? There's a sales process towards knowing how to do these things, right? So we can just quickly just give a role play, right? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, nobody's perfect at it, right? We are also learning daily, right? But we'll show you the procedures. We'll show you how it's being done. So can we do it?
All right, don't worry. I'm giving you the mic. So you are calling Mr. Daniel and you are selling to him.
Who are you giving the mic?
Tomori Olusegun.
Okay.
Tomori Olusegun, can you hear me? Okay. Let me put another person. Okay, Yanolu Ajayoba, are you up to the task? You'll be calling Mr. Daniel and you'll be selling one of the properties we just presented to him. Can you unmute yourself? Yanu, can you unmute yourself?
Hello, sir.
All right. So Yanu, you are selling one of the properties you just been taught to Mr. Daniel Abiola. So you have the floor. Go ahead.
Oh, actually, I don't really understand how to make this
So
sale.
it's like a call. It's like you're calling him. So hello, sir. I'm from GTEX and blah blah. Can you do that?
All right, let me just give it a try. All right, sir.
So you're calling him now. Yeah.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Daniel.
Yes, good afternoon. How you doing? Who am I speaking with?
Doing very well. This is Yanolu Ajayoba from GTEX Homes.
Okay, how may I help you?
Hello, can you hear me?
How may I help you, madam?
All right, sir. So I would love to speak to you about the real estate firm and the properties we sell, to know if you did be interested in buying the estates.
Okay, firstly, how did you get my number?
Okay, your contact was being reviewed on our screen line through some of our customers, some of our estate partners. So, but really we don't know the person who actually dropped the contact, but your contact was seen. So decided to call you to make you know.
I'm an executive personnel. My contacts are not reviewed anyhow. How do you get my number?
I've explained to you already. So
I guess you are a scam, madam. I'm not willing to listen to you.
that's not right. That's not true. You can actually make a research on GTEX Homes to know about the company. So you get to know we are not a scam.
Well, madam, just like I said, I'm not ready to make any research on any complaint, right? I don't release my numbers and people don't get my numbers anyhow. So I don't know how you got my number.
Okay, if a doubt, we give you a trial. You can just try, make the research to know more about the company for you to know that GTEX Home is not a scam. So
Okay, I'll look at that probably later. Thank you.
all right, sir. All right, thank you.
You not tell me to have a good day.
Oh my. Sorry. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Oh my. Okay.
Okay, so who is going next again?
So we are going.
All right.
Yeah? Okay. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How may I help you?
My name is Naziga. I'm a senior wealth advisor at GTEX Home.
Okay. How did you get my number?
So your number was recommended as a high net worth individual who is interested in investing in real estate, sir.
Okay, beautiful. What can I do for you?
I wanted to tell you about our ongoing promo on our properties here in Abuja. Is this something you would like to be interested in, sir?
Firstly, I think I might be interested, but I don't know your company. I don't know you.
GTEX Home is owned by Dr. Stephen Akintayo, and it's a company with integrity, and it has lasted for over 14 years, sir. We've been featured on Arise and CNN, sir.
Wow, beautiful on Arise and CNN. Okay, tell me more.
Okay, we are into lands, housing, and agriculture, sir.
Okay.
So we have a series of properties here in Abuja, located in Lugbe and Kurudu, and we are currently having a 30% discount on our properties. And this is something you'll be interested in, sir.
Okay, it seems like I'm interested. So why do you think I should invest with you guys?
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Our estate is well strategically located in Abuja here, sir. And what we are bringing to our clients is top notch, something that has never been done in most estates here in Abuja. Smart and green homes is what we are bringing, whereby you can renew your waste to electricity. You have constant power supply. You have access to good road network in these estates, and we have hospitals that will be built, not just anyhow hospital, but a chiropractic hospital, something that has never been done in Nigeria here. So,
Okay, beautiful. How much
So-
is it going for currently? And what's the title document on it?
okay, thank you, sir. The title is C of O, and it's currently going for 20 million naira, sir. But if you purchase today with a 30% discount, you get it for 7.6 million, depending on the number of plots you buy.
Oh, beautiful. All right. I like what you just told me, right? You know what? Just send me the details of everything. I'm quite busy right now. I'll check it up after.
Okay, sir, is this your WhatsApp number, sir, so I can send you the details?
Absolutely, my WhatsApp number.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time, and do have a nice day, sir.
And you too. Bye.
Bye.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Nice one.
I'm supposed to take one more person.
Okay, please check your WhatsApp.
Okay, sir. So, Martha, are you willing to take the challenge? Martha, are you ready? Let me talk where the floor is yours. Let me talk where the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So call Mr. Daniel.
Okay. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Tim is calling me. Yes, sir. Okay, beautiful. Hello, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. My
Good
name is
afternoon.
Tim Topeawe from G-Test Home, the wealth advisor. I'm trying to reach you out to give you the offer currently going on in the company.
Okay.
Okay. So actually, one of the offer going on in the company, what we do is we build estates, we build houses, we also acquired land banking, sorry. Hello, are you there, sir?
Sorry, I didn't get what you said clearly.
I say what we do in the company is we build estates, acquired land banking, and farming as well. Can you hear me?
Hello, my brother. Okay, I'm with you. Proceed.
Hello, sir.
Proceed.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. So I just want to introduce one of our estates to you. The one currently in Lagos at Ibejuleki. The estate is very beach front. Ibejuleki phase 2. So I'm sure you will be interested in this estate, and I want you to just use the opportunity to acquire the land currently going on, because there's 30%.
I have a lot of investment
currently going on in the
I
estate.
have a lot of investment. I have real estate in Lagos. I have in Abuja. I also have in Port Harcourt. So why do you think I should invest in this?
Okay, the reason why I'm pushing the estate to you to invest in it is just that I want you to also benefit in the futures and what is currently going on in the estate. One of the futures is that the estate is located not too far to the Dangote refinery, and also it is a smart and a green estate, which it will help you, it will yield more to your investment.
Hello, sir. I'm not interested. I have something very important to do now. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, sir. Please, sir, how can, like, what time can I reach you back, just for you to explain more better what to be a benefit to you, sir?
I don't have time. Just send me what you have on WhatsApp. This is my WhatsApp number. I will get back to you if need be.
In the evening. Okay, sir. I will try to send you all what we do on.
Bye. Thank you so much.
WhatsApp. Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Have a nice time.
You see what Mr. Rane just did now? You are going to see a lot of it when you start making phone calls. He's not trying to be like tough or anything. That's just like a normal thing to expect. You meet friendly people and you meet aggressive people.
Yeah.
If God wants to help you, you need someone that will force you. So just
I'm always feeling nice, Dave. I did not even
honestly.
nice.
Honestly. So I'm glad. Evan said interesting training, we are learning. I'm glad you are learning. So that's the end of the training. So we've taken, 3 calls. You guys can also be among yourself. Go call yourself. Someone should be the aggressive person. Someone should be the client. You be the caller. Do it and then get on the real calls. So I'm sure you've learned a whole lot. Let's take the knowledge and go and start getting results. So thank you so much once again, Mr. Daniel.
Welcome. So let me just highlight an observation. So one of the reasons why I came in being aggressive, kinda, is actually because it wasn't sounding interesting, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, one thing you must always do, right, especially when you're at the back end, right, as a customer care person or as a wealth advisor, you must always be interesting. Right? Let that positive energy be in your voice so that when the other person, the receiver, hears your voice, no matter what, his spirit, of course, you don't know the psychology or the state in which that person is at that point in time, but no matter what, right, even though he's saying what's even wrong with this one, he should still feel that vibe. I wasn't feeling the vibe, right? The vibe of him being happy, the vibe of him being interesting. Right? Because it is the energy you dissipate at me that I embrace, that I catch. Right? So it's always very important, right? A wealth advisor or a consultant is always positive all the time. If you hear positive vibe, always, it's always like that. Be interested. Let it come out from your viewers. Hello, sir. My name is this. How are you doing today? Da 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 da. It comes out like that, right? You must. I'm not saying your pitch must be high, but that sense of being interesting must be perceived from your voice, right? Is very, very key. So that's my observation.
Wow, that's very key. That's honestly very key. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Mr. Diaz. And thank you everyone else also for joining. See you next week, Wednesday, and make sure you put to practice everything you've learned today. That's important. So have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, guys. See you again next time. Bye.